So, if Disney came to you and asked a question, design a new ride, design a new attraction, design new characters, would you actually have the courage to design something? Show of hands, yes or no? Well, great, great, that's what I did. So years ago, in 1991, Disney came to Hampton University and came up with the idea of Imagination's design competition. So I listened to this presentation and I said to myself, wait a minute, we don't have to do a boring cultural center or a bank or something crazy like that? You mean we can do whatever we want? So I went home, I didn't know what I was going to do and I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I said to myself, I'm going to win that design competition. So that night I went home and I dreamt of an indoor ski slope idea. So for some reason, when I woke up, I said, you know what, that would be really cool if you can put an indoor ski slope in Florida. Just kind of flip the script, you know what I mean? If you can actually ski in a winter, in a winter activity in a summer environment, and ski on a mountain that was about 500 feet tall, and you're actually in a 32-degree environment, how crazy would that be in Florida? Because Florida is about as flat as this stage, okay? And it's about as hot and very humid. I mean, it's hot like it is here in Southern California. So I just said to my buddies, I said, hey, look, I'm going to design an indoor ski slope. Are you with me? They were like, sure. So we came up with a character named Dogomite. And Dogomite was this secret agent snow dog. He comes from the planet Pluto. And he came here to Earth to save us from the evil, nefarious Catmandu. Okay? So Dogomite, instead of putting Mickey on skis, Minnie and Mickey's on skis, we said, you know what? It would be cool if we gave Disney their own brand new secret agent snow dog, as a character and a mascot for this park. But also create the idea of what this indoor ski slope would look like. So we were designing all these very, like I said, banks and museums and things. And everything looked very rigid and, things that you'll see in the architecture magazines. But we wanted to enter this Disney competition. So we said, you know what, let's make this thing look cartoony. And our teachers hated our ideas. They absolutely hated it because it's like, you guys, it looks like it's a cartoon character drew that. We were like, okay, well, we were designing for the Disney criteria, but we were also designing to get a good grade in class. So that's what you see. Here's the site plan. The top left-hand corner is where we thought Ice Quarters, this indoor ski slope attraction, would sit in Walt Disney World. And what you're looking at is an area view of what this mountain in the center would actually look like. So I was walking around in my room one day, and we were trying to figure out how to make this ski slope actually change shape so that no one could really get tired of actually skiing on it. Because we did research, and this was before the internet, in 1991. We were looking around trying to figure out, okay, we did the research and we found that folks loved the classic attractions at Disney, but after riding Space Mountain 1,000 times, you want to go on to something bigger and better and something new. So we said, why don't we just build in that creativity and that flexibility of having it do something different each time a guest comes to the park. So I was walking around in my room and I stepped on some bubble wrap and popped it, and I said, wow, wait a minute. It would literally be cool if the slope of this mountain changed shape. So literally, instead of the bubble wrap, like you see here in my hand, being disposable and plastic, in theory, if you lay this on a slant or on a slope, and you made each one of these bubbles 20 feet in diameter, and you put a hose underneath each bubble, and you put 32 degrees snow on top of this, you can regulate the bubbles, the bladders, to actually increase and decrease their shape and their size. So effectively shaping and carving the mountain that creates the moguls that you ski on. So On Tuesday, the moguls are very, intense and very engaging for the guests. But then when they go back on Friday, it's an entirely different slope. So you can never really master this slope. So that just came up for me, just dropping, stepping on some bubble wrap. So that's that innovation and that's that creativity that what we try to do is put that into our attraction. So then here's the entry mountain where you would come in and get your skis, go down the escalator, and this is like the Swiss villa on the inside. And what we tried to do was create all the things about Kathmandu and Dolomite in this entry village. But then what you see here on screen now is the section through the mountain where you see all the hoses are connected to the actual bladder that the snow sits underneath or above. So after doing the Imaginations Design Competition and actually having the opportunity to win with my two friends, Chris and Sean, we did a 6-month internship. And during that 6-month internship, I had an opportunity to work on architectural projects. But after winning the competition and then becoming an employee at Imagineering, I started saying, you know what, let me try to see if I can pursue this dream of what Dogmite would look like if he actually had his own cartoon character. So I said, I'm at Imagineering, we take imagination and engineering and meet it. Why don't we just see if we can figure out how to make Dogmite a cartoon show? So here you're going to see some of the conceptual ideas of Dogmite as if he had his own show. Absolutely had fun actually pursuing this dream with TV animation, and then we worked with the movie studio group and tried to make Dogmite a live-action movie like you see on Star Wars and Star Trek. So had a great experience working with other parts of the Walt Disney Company, but now what I want to do is talk to you about me actually living the dream, doing the technical endeavors that I get paid to do every day at Imagineering. So right now I want to just talk to you about some of the projects that I've had an opportunity to work on, where we take the blend of creative ideas and work with the technical aspects and the technical disciplines at Imagineering and create the theme park attractions that you see. Right after graduation and winning the National Design Competition Imaginations, I had an opportunity to work on Indiana Jones. How many folks been on Indiana Jones? One of my favorite. And then started working on Autopia. I had an opportunity to be one of the lead designers of that in the architecture group. From that, I went on to start working on Buzz Lightyear. Any Buzz Lightyear fans? Right on. So then started working on Tokyo Disney Seas and really had an opportunity to go over to Tokyo and begin working with OLC. Worked on the fortress, which you'll see is the castle, if you will, of the park, and then the 16th century Spanish galleon, which is actually it's a building, it's not a boat. And working here across the street, Disney's California Adventure, had an opportunity to be the lead architect on Disney's, we called it Bugs Land when we were designing it, but it ended up being called Flicks Fun Fair. So that's the area restroom, which looks like discarded Kleenex box. Had an opportunity to work on Hong Kong Disneyland Common Cafe, as well as Disneyland Paris Cars Race Rally. fun job. Disneyland Paris crushes coaster. We call it Crush's Turtle Twister. It's just amazing how you work on projects for so many years at Imagineering, and you call it something internally, and then once it gets out to the park and it's a whole different name, and you're still referring to it as the old name. It's like, wait a minute, Dad, it's not called Bugs Land, it's called Flicks Fun Fair. Okay, baby, thank you. So this is Disney's California Adventure, Toy Story Midway Mania. I had a chance to work on that, which is across the street. And also, I've been working a lot with Kevin Rafferty's work. This is Disney's California Radiator Springs Racer that's opening next year. Had an opportunity to do the queue structures, which you all will go through before you get on the ride. So that's going to be an exciting project. I can't wait for that to open. I took a lead design working on some of the attractions in Magic Kingdom expansion, which is under construction as well in Walt Disney World. And then I'm working on Shanghai, which I can't really share anything. So that's a little frustrating, but that means all of you guys have to get tickets to go to Shanghai and go get on all the things that we're doing over there. So I've had a wonderful, exciting, and amazing opportunity to work at Imagineering for over 18 years. It's a blessing, and I just thank you all for just coming and making it so special for us to design for you. So thank you very much.
Okay. Our next presenter is Kim Irvine, the art director for Disneyland in the Walt Disney Imagineering office here at the Disneyland Resort. Kim performs concept design and color styling for all kinds of Disneyland projects. She was the overall art director for the recent refreshment and I think some of you attended yesterday, of It's a Small World, and was the true key to all the special design features for the 50th anniversary of Disneyland in 2005, including the
sitting there listening with you to the other presenters, it struck me as how versatile everyone is, and that's something I tell young kids that want to become Imagineers, is you really need to become versatile. It's a very important thing. And the other thing that struck me as kind of horrifying is I'm the oldest person on here. But at any rate, as Marty said, I started my career in 1970 in it was WED at that time, model shop. And we were right in the middle of getting ready to open Walt Disney World, and I was able to work side by side with some of the greatest Imagineers, a lot of our legends that many of you celebrate, and along with a lot of young upstarts that were starting right along with me, like Tony Baxter and Maggie Elliott and Skip Lang and Scott Hennessy and a lot of people that are still with us today. So the job that I have currently, as Marty said, is leading a big group of off-site Imagineers. We have a satellite office at Disneyland, and we take care of Disneyland. In the 80s. Imagineering really turned its sights to working on other projects besides Disney World. We were into Tokyo, we were working on Epcot, there was all kinds of projects going on, and we realized that as the crown jewel, Disneyland still needed to be taken care of, and new things needed to be added to it, and it needed to be watched over. So I relocated to Disneyland and started with just a few designers, a lighting designer and a landscape designer, and today we've grown to a group of 25 on-site designers, everything from graphics to architecture, lighting to landscape. And so